YouTube? Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be talking about the most highly requested product that I've had on the channel, and that's going to be the RayNeo X3 Pros. These are glasses that I did win from RayNeo during a competition they were having on the Reddit and the Discord server, so definitely jump into those if you're not already a part of it. But to find out some more information on the glasses, we're going to go over specs, we'll look at the website, there's actually a trade-in program, and we're going to talk about the price and other things like that. So stick around, hit the subscribe button if you want to see some more awesome tech videos, and hit the like button if you're here for this one and you're excited about it. But without further ado, let's jump into it. My name is Connor, and this is where the informal tech reviews live. All right, so jumping straight into the information, you can see right here that it's a Discord announcement from Tritium at RayNeo. Shout out to Tritium. And it's basically saying that there's an event going on from December 5th to January 5th. And this is going to be for Explorer deals, I guess is what they're called. But basically, it's a trade-in program. And this is something that I requested from RayNeo. I don't know if I had any input on it, if I helped it come into fruition or not. But one issue that I will say, plain as day, happened with RayNeo was the X2s, the glasses that I keep grabbing. They're monsters. These are some awesome glasses that have a ton of power, basically the same processor as the Oculus Quest 2, and they showed a lot of promise. I picked some up during the Indiegogo campaign, as well as a lot of other people did. And then we almost, I don't want to say we were ghosted, but RayNeo definitely didn't support the product as much as I thought they were going to. And a lot of us felt like we got forgot about, and then the X3 Pros were coming out. And so that's just something that I reached out to them personally, and I was like, hey, you know, I am here for RayNeo. I love the RayNeo products, and I think there's some probably mixed feelings about this announcement of this product because of the experiences that people had with the RayNeo X2s. And so what I asked was for a trade-in program, give some money back to people who put in that money for the X2s, and they were those initial early backers of RayNeo. And RayNeo came through clutch with $799 towards the X3 Pro. Now, that's literally exactly how much I'm pretty sure I paid for the X2s during the Indiegogo launch campaign. And so it's basically a full refund to move into the next one. And so if you see here, you can trade in the X2s or the Meta displays. If you don't like yours and you're regretting your purchase, you can do that trade in. But you basically fill out this online form, you get your shipping label, you send your device in, and once they check it out, make sure it's not messed up, they will send you a coupon that you can use within 15 business days. Now, there are a couple different forms of coupons and things going on right now for the X3 Pros whenever they launch. And so the early bird price, according to this post, is $999. And so you can see there's the Display Glasses Explorer reward. Now, it's a little bit confusing on how this is going to stack up. And if I get some more clarification, I'll drop a note in the comments. But there's $100 off if you've tried the smart glasses before, not necessarily X3 Pros, but any type of display, heads-up display type glasses. Now, I don't believe that counts for like extra screen monitor type glasses, like the Birdbath Optic ones, but it's more for like the X2s or the Meta displays, things like that. I think Roku just came out with another set. So if you have an experience with that, you can share your experience, get $100 off. Now, best case scenario in a perfect world, to me, what I'm understanding is you would get the early bird price, and then you could stack this coupon on top of it, and then maybe even stack the other coupon for the trade-in on top of that. Now, that's what I'm going to try to do, because I do want to purchase myself a set, because this deal is too good to pass up. But I think what's more realistic is you'll be able to pick one of these options, right? And so you'll either be able to get the early bird price with this Explorer reward, or the early bird price with the trade-in. And, you know, even if it ended up being the fact where it was $1,099 and then the trade-in, I'm still going to purchase it, because $300 to step up from my X2 to the X3 Pros is a huge deal. Now, to do that, you would go to this website, and when I did it, I actually already filled it out. It just asks you for your name. It asks you for which one you're turning in, so the Meta display or the X2s, and then you record a short video showing that it's functional, it meets the criteria, and that's sort of a cover yourself protection measure. That way, when you send it in, if there's any discrepancies with what they're seeing and what you're seeing, you then have video proof that it did work when you sent it in. Now, I have made the recommendation to RayNeo to fully record from the moment they start opening that package to completion of the evaluation, just to show that it's the exact device that they received with your name and shipping label and stuff. I don't know if they're going to run with that. Hopefully they do, but let's jump into some more information about the glasses themselves. Okay, so moving over to the website, you can see right here we show X3 Pro drops on the 17th. Now I'm going to go ahead and click learn more, and it's going to show us some more information about the launch. Now, this is where it was a little bit confusing. It says $300 to step up, trade in X2 or display glasses for X3 Pro. Now, to me, that reads that's the $1,099 minus the $799, and you have $300 left, so $300 to move up. Sounds like it's not including the early bird price, but I think there may be some wiggle room in here. I'm not 100% sure. I guess when we get a little bit closer, we'll be able to find out for sure. But some information on the glasses themselves. They did receive the best innovation of 2025 because the waveguides and the micro LEDs are all awesome. You've seen them on all these different things. They won the IFA Innovation Award in 2025. And yeah, just lots of highlights here, right? They got Best of CES 2025. And there's some information in here that we can just touch on. So let's take a look at always on AI assistants. So they do have Google Gemini, which you can call on, but just by saying, hey, RayNeo, and then it'll launch the application and you can start talking to it. It does have video capabilities, so it can see what you're seeing, as well as translation capabilities to literally translate what you're seing. Now, there are a bunch of different languages. There's a creator mode for developers. Now, I actually have developed with the RayNeo X3 Pros. I took a browser that existed from the X2s and I transitioned it over to the X3 and made sure that it's able to function properly on these glasses. And I think that personally was a big thing that kind of increased the usability of the glasses. But we'll get into that along with battery life here in just a little bit. There are some different modes that it has. So you can use the 3 degrees of freedom, or there's the 6 degrees of freedom with the SLAM. I forget what the acronym stands for, but basically it keeps an object in place and you can kind of walk around it, which is really cool. There's a couple demos on that, but it's one of those things that if you're using it, it's going to tear up your battery. So you have to be prepared and know when you want to use that. And it's not going to be set up for everything. It's definitely going to be tailored for specific applications, which some are already starting to pop up. So definitely excited about that. You can use it for AI secretary. There's heads-up navigation in real time. Now, this is one of the most exciting things that I had on the X2s because you can kind of set up your navigation and then get turn-by-turn directions popped up in your glasses like a HUD. There will be Apple Watch control. Now, I don't personally have an Apple Watch, so I can't test that out, but it sounds like there will be some sort of way to kind of control the glasses with your Apple Watch. Currently, otherwise, there is a phone touchpad and phone controller mode. Now, if you have a side-loaded application, and there's another video on the channel for side-loading applications if you want to check that out, but if you have a side-loaded application, you can use your phone kind of like the LG remotes on the LG TVs, where when you move it like this, it kind of aims a cursor and you can interact with it that way. There's also the touchpad mode, which is what I use with my application, the TapLink X3 application that I developed, where you swipe on your phone, kind of like Samsung Dex, right? Where you swipe on it and it moves the cursor around, or it moves your selection around and you can tap on it. But what's really cool as an upgrade compared to the X2s, so on the X2s, you see this side temple right here was kind of a swipe forward, swipe back, and I think it might have had up and down. I don't remember for sure. I haven't used these in a little bit, but it was not very sensitive to touch in the sense where on the new ones, you have basically a trackpad on the side of your head, similar to like a Mac trackpad or a laptop trackpad, where if I move up a little bit, it goes up. And as I move my finger around, the cursor follows the finger. So it's not based off of swipe gestures, which I think really adds an awesome layer of usability. There's a couple other things in here. I definitely went on a tangent there, but it looks like you have lifetime RayNeo Explorer program. And so purchasers of any RayNeo X series automatically qualify as lifetime RayNeo Explorers. It sounds like if you wanted to keep your X2 and not trade it in, you could still get $200 off because you're a RayNeo Explorer. And that's for X series. So that's cool. I'll definitely trade in though if I'm going to get $799 versus $200. There's also, yeah, we talked about the trade-in and then the extra $100 off for the early bird. Yeah, if you've tried the displays, Okay, so this kind of addresses the question that we had before. Now with this one, it makes it, I guess, a little bit more confusing because it's saying here that the early bird price is $1,099, and then if you use this discount, it brings it down to $999. So something to note. Quick rundown of the specs that were inside the box. It says RAM 4 gigabytes, ROM 32 gigabytes, optical engine, internally developed micro LED Firefly optical binocular full color display, max brightness 2000 nits. Now on the website it did say I think 6000 nits. So I'm not sure which one is correct, but it's definitely super bright whenever I use it. So I'm happy with the brightness. The refresh rate shows 60 hertz. The battery capacity is 245 milliamp hours. It charges at 5 volts or with 1 amp. The IP rating is IPX2, so don't expect to be able to get these super wet or dusty. They are 76 grams plus or minus a gram, and that's going to be without the prescription inserts. So once you throw the prescription inserts in there, they're going to be a little bit heavier, which is unfortunate, but they do feel super light. And what I was actually surprised by is I have a set of the display glasses, or the screen glasses, the RayNeo X3 Pros, which I may have here. And these glasses, which don't have any sort of processing done on board, they're just screens and they connect to your phone. If you want to see a video on these, definitely head over to the channel and check those out. These are the ones that you want to use if you're going to be playing games and watching movies and stuff. The RayNeo X3 Pros are more for like wearable tech, kind of like a smartwatch on your face or one day a phone replacement. But what I was really surprised with is the X3 Pros actually feel about the same, if not a little lighter than the Airs. And the Airs have no sort of processing, no battery, nothing like that. And so I was super impressed with the weight because even the X2s, I think, let me see if I have a note in here for my X2s. The X2s weighed 120 grams. And so comparing that to the 76 is a huge change. And you can actually see some of that information in the specs because there are a couple other glasses on the market which at first glance you might compare to these and say, hey, why would I even want to consider the X3 Pros? Because these other glasses have more power, more RAM, more storage. But the main reason for me personally is the weight savings. And so while there are other awesome glasses that are out there with full Android operating systems and you can use them like for a long time because they have a huge battery, those ones are going to be more like the X2s where they're going to weigh over 100 grams. They're going to hurt your ears. They're going to look gigantic. I personally think these ones look pretty good. The only real complaint about the aesthetics of them I have personally is there's a lot of glare on the lenses from the waveguides, and that's something that I don't think you can really work around because the lenses are specifically designed to transfer light into your eyes. And so, you win some, you lose some there. I think there's definitely some improvements in the waveguide technology coming our way. We did talk about having cameras on the front, which I think is not necessarily the best placement, and the quality is fine. Now, when I compare to the display glasses, the one thing that really bothered me with the Metas was it was only a display in one eye. And when I went and did the test, it just kind of felt crazy. I don't know if you've tested them or if that bothers anybody else, but that's definitely something that drove me crazy and kind of led to me not picking them up, actually. I do think that their neural wristband is probably the best way that I've seen to interact with smart glasses, and I hope that comes to more glasses. From what I've heard, there are some third-party creations similar to that would work with other smart glasses if they open them up, and so hopefully RayNeo does. RayNeo, if you're listening, definitely check that out. But these ones, they have significantly less like rainbowing effect than the RayNeo X2s do, so that's better in the sense that you can kind of see through the waveguides without having it be a little bit distorted like it was before. Now, but let me grab my Oakleys. And so this is what the glasses look like, the X3 Pros, how they fit on the head, the size. And if I switch back over to the Meta Oakleys, you can see they're pretty close in like size. They're not crazy looking for glasses. Now, the one big complaint that I would have as far as like other people looking at me would be that the cameras themselves are a little bit more noticeable, and they're right in the middle, like full Harry Potter status. So if you wanted to cover them up or something, you're going to have a piece of tape going through the middle, which I personally won't, but it does limit your ability to take these places and to kind of feel comfortable, and for other people to feel comfortable around you. Now, I've been wearing the Metas, both Ray-Bans since the stories, really. Even before that, I had the Snapchat spectacles, the original ones that looked super crazy. And so I've been used to wearing a camera on my face, and I feel like people around me are used to it now. So that's not something that bothers me too much. But when I take a look at myself in pictures and stuff, and my wife literally laughed at me the first time I put these on. Not as much as she did when I put on the Ray-Bans, though, because those ones looked even crazier on my face. I'll put an image in here. Just a few things of note on the data and engineering side that I didn't hit in the main video. 76 grams, so it's 36% lighter than the X2s. It shows 3,500 nits here, 20% thinner lenses, and it's using the AR1 from Qualcomm. It's got Bluetooth 5.3 and Wi-Fi 6, and the camera shows 12 megapixels and 4K image. So one of the cameras is actually for developers to use for like SLAM, and the other one is for image capturing. Now, there's an official number in here that shows the battery charges in 38 minutes, which is awesome and pretty consistent with what my testing showed. I think I said it was under 40. Okay, time for the battery charge up test. Let's see. It's at 2%. Now it's already at 3%. It was at 1% when I plugged it in. Right now it's 9:11. We're at 19%, and now it's 9:14. Looks like we are at 41%, and the time is 9:19. 69. Nice. And it's 9:26. We're at 97, and right now it is 9:40. So almost to 100. I'll have to keep an eye on it. Okay, I should have checked sooner, because I think I probably missed the exact moment it went to 100. But let's see. Yeah, it's at 100 now. Currently it's 9:50. So probably pull a couple of minutes off of there, but that's our time. Okay, so I decided to do one more addition to this review, and it's going to be a timed YouTube test. I'm going to do it at auto brightness, just in the office. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to head over to TapLink. So that's what I'm doing now. Opening up my TapLink browser. And then I'm going to head to YouTube, and I'm just going to continuously play YouTube videos. Okay, got the video loaded up. Had to disconnect from my phone because my phone is being used for recording and it wasn't letting it play. But starting the video, auto brightness, half volume, full screen. Oh, and start the timer. Just hit 30% warning. We're at 25 minutes. Just got a low battery level warning. Says it will shut down. So we're coming up on that. Okay, and it officially just died, so I'm going to hit the stop. 36 minutes, 28 seconds. Now, I get it. That's pretty bad if you're watching a YouTube video, but what's really cool about these glasses that I've kind of mentioned, I think a couple times, is that it's USB-C. So there's definitely some compromises if you want to have something as light as this that you can keep wearing, and the battery is one of them. Now, there's other specs that have probably taken a hit as well, like the RAM and the storage, but I think overall, for me personally, I think I'd prefer the weight savings over the battery life, because they're not really meant to be used for like YouTube videos and constantly used like that. But if you are someone like me who is going to use it like that, then you can just carry around like a little battery pack or plug it in whenever you're near a charger, and you should be good to go. Now, on the blog post for the RayNeo website, you can see it has a peak brightness of up to 6,000 nits in eye. And so I'm wondering if maybe when you're outside, it gets a little brighter on its own, then you can actually set it to via the bar in the settings, similar to how some smartphones do it. You can actually see here, it shows how the waveguides kind of work. And so the projector shoots the image down at the glasses, which then gets scattered around and then pumped up into the square in front of your eyes, and then your eyes actually see it. That's about all we have on specs. Now let's get to the unboxing and some demos and get to our final thoughts, see what we think. Okay, so I got the top off, And inside you're immediately greeted with what I assume is the device. Now this is not going to probably be the exact production shipping because this is an early version, but yeah, it looks like I was able to get that out. Let's see what's inside here. All right, so it looks like we got our usual books and stuff. Go ahead and pause that to read it if you want. But this looks like a charging cable and the nose bridge with the pre-installed pad, and it's USB-C on both ends, not a proprietary cable. I really like that. That was one of the issues with the RayNeo X2s, was the proprietary cable kind of limited your options as far as being able to charge. All right, a very nice box. Sturdy, soft texture. Smell test, smells nice. You pop it open and you're immediately greeted. They're way lighter than I expected. Got some protection on the sides. Looks like these are touch panels. I think we can all kind of figure them out together. The lens protectors. All right. Our charge port is at the bottom. I'm really excited that that's USB-C. And then separately, this box, and it contains my prescription. Nice. It says President on them. Smell test. Smells pretty nice. Not as nice as the actual glasses case, though, I will admit. Now, one of my big concerns with the lenses was on the X2s, I was catching a lot of glare on the prescription inserts. So let me see. Ooh, that feels very clear. It goes this way. There we go. And then those go into the glasses. Need all three prongs to go in there. And they're in. How does the video look? I know the audio quality when I record via the internal screen capture thing where it shows you what I'm seeing, that doesn't sound very good. But what I've noticed is the actual video recording does sound pretty good. And so, pop open the window. Okay, here we go. Now, I think I just had the idea, if I turn on my Meta glasses, I can actually do a nice comparison. So I think I'll just look crazy. And so now you can hear and see from both of the glasses. Tell me which one sounds better. I think the maximum on the Metas at this point is 5 minutes. One thing I figured I'd note before we break away is I can actually see what is being recorded. So that's a limitation to the Metas, where it's like you just have to hope everything in your field of view is being recorded. And so it has like this helpful thing in my vision where I can actually see what's being shown. So in my actual vision, I can see all the way down to my lap. But on the RayNeos, it ends about here on the steering wheel. And so just being able to see that, and it comes to like here on the screen. So being able to see that, I think, is really helpful when you're trying to just get your shot set up. And so if I wanted to get more of the street, I have to kind of do one of those. But yeah, overall, pretty good capture experience. I can see I actually lost probably 10% of my battery recording that. So like I've probably mentioned a few times and will continue to mention in this review, the battery life, it's about all it can be for a pair of glasses like this. Now that's not to say it's terrible or great. I do think that if you're using it for recording, it's going to be bad. If you're using it heavily, it's going to be bad. But in my experience, it takes about 30-45 minutes from 0 to 100 plugged in to charge up this tiny little battery. And then it lasts quite a while. And the fact that it's USB-C really makes it super useful. All right, quick run through of a scenario that I actually encountered earlier today. Basically, I was out at the paintless dent repair place getting an estimate on my truck from the hail damage, and I was like kind of bored. Decided to bust out the glasses, which are already on my face because I actually have prescriptions, and just use the browser that was there. And it works when it's just connected to your phone or when it's connected to Wi-Fi. And so moving over to the glasses, we can show this really quick. You can see now that I'm at the home area of the glasses. And if I hit this one, that is the TapLink browser that I have assisted in development for. And you can literally just head over to YouTube. Now I'm going to pin it in place just so it's a little bit more stable for the video. But if I wanted to come down and check out, I don't know, Christmas with the Trumps, you can see the video's going, the audio's going, and it's a little bit choppy just because I'm recording the screen as well, but you can see the benefit here. Now, if I was on my actual phone, then I would be able to grab it and move around with the cursor like this. So we do enable 3 degrees of freedom with the anchored mode. So if I look away, it goes away. And if I look back, it comes back. That's using the TapLink browser. Now, another use case might be just communicating with the AI. Maybe you just want some AI glasses to ask questions and bounce them off of. So let's go ahead and give that a shot. I'm going to start my recording. Hey, RayNeo.
Good morning. You're here to call me RayNeo AI. It's a pleasure to be your conversation companion in your glasses.
What kind of AI model are you?
You are a highly knowledgeable AI assistant made by Google and based on the Gemini class of models.
Okay, what's the weather for tomorrow?
It looks like tomorrow we'll have light rain with a maximum temperature of 11 degrees Celsius and a minimum temperature of 5 degrees Celsius. It will be around 7 degrees Celsius at night.
Okay, can you tell me about the YouTube channel Informal Tech?
It seems there are a few different YouTube channels named Informal Tech. The one with 830 subscribers focuses on smart home gadgets, unboxings, and tech reviews, sometimes featuring RayNeo glasses.
Okay, so this form of recording can only go for a minute, so I got to start it back up. But let's try out the video capabilities of the AI.
It's sunny in Colorado right now.
Okay, I don't know why you just had the Australian accent, but I'm going to turn on the video. RayNeo, what am I looking at?
That's a box of white fudge-covered Oreos in your hand. Looks like a tasty treat.
I'm actually loving the accent right now, but yeah, white fudge Oreos, that's very good. What about these ones? What is this?
Those are sour Skittles. A burst of tangy flavor for you.
So that's about it for talking with the AI and using the multimodal video capabilities on it. And I guess let's move over to some of the other features and functionality. Okay, I wanted to quickly show how the teleprompter works. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start the screen recording on the glasses. I'll start that up, and then I can go into the teleprompter, and I'll just use the one that's in here. And then it's going to pop up on my screen, and I can see RayNeo AI teleprompter. Based on diffractive waveguide technology, it accurately projects prompt information onto the RayNeo X3 glasses, freeing speakers from the constraints of looking down to check notes or teleprompters, enabling smooth and natural delivery. Core advantages: accurate text projection transmits prepared script/text to glasses and projects them in vision-adapted positions, allowing speakers to view content anytime while maintaining eye contact and natural body language. Now that's all I'm going to do because I don't want to just rattle off the RayNeo talking points, but I think it's pretty awesome. Okay, I really quickly wanted to show the translation feature, so I'm just going to use this YouTube video from Story Learning Spanish. Shout out to them. And I'm not going to play a whole lot of it, but I'm going to play some. And basically, let's see how the translation works with the RayNeo X3 Pros. You can see on the bottom the English one, so we can see if it's working.
En general, podemos dividir a la tecnología en dos grandes grupos, software y hardware. Así es, en español usamos los nombres en inglés para estas palabras. Es muy común usar palabras que vienen del inglés para hablar sobre tecnología en español. El hardware son todos los objetos que podemos tocar y usar, como un teclado o un teléfono celular. El software, en cambio, son las aplicaciones y programas que usamos dentro del dispositivo.
All right, that's it for the RayNeo X3 Pros. Now, these are awesome glasses. I definitely enjoy wearing them. I can personally wear them all day long. Now, initially when I got them, it did feel a little bit heavy on the ears coming from just the typical camera glasses. They were a little bit heavier than those, but after wearing them for a couple days, the pain on the ears definitely went away. So if you're sensitive to heavy glasses, you probably will feel them with these, but they're significantly less heavy when you consider other types of display glasses, including the RayNeo X2s and probably the Meta displays. Let me just real quick check how much those weigh. No, it looks like the Meta displays are about the same weight, maybe a little bit lighter, and that's probably because they only have one display on there. But yeah, I think these are definitely the way to go. If I was making the choice, which I kind of did because I went and tested out the Meta displays, did not pull the trigger there, and I'm excited to pull the trigger on another set of these glasses. So definitely check those out. There are prescription inserts that you can get. They're not super expensive. I think it was like $50 for the ones that I was looking at. So definitely excited about that. The big cons that I would see with these glasses include the battery life, the reflective lenses, and the like not perfectly pretty look. I do think they look better than most glasses, unlike the X2s, which if you go back and watch any of those videos, I think I prefaced every single one of them with, I'm totally fine wearing these clown glasses on my face or something along those lines because they looked crazy. So these ones are definitely an improvement in that regard. But I think those three things, the battery life, the reflectiveness of the lenses, as well as the cameras in the middle, are probably my big main three gripes, and most of them are kind of mitigated already, right? And so the battery charges up. I did my big YouTube test, and that took about an hour to deplete the battery entirely, watching straight YouTube videos at like 3/4 brightness, and it charged back up in like 30-40 minutes. And so that is awesome. If you have a USB-C cable anywhere laying around, it's definitely like super easy to top these up if you're not using them. If you don't wear them permanently for prescription purposes, you can just drop them down and plug them onto a charger. Otherwise, you can just run a USB cable up to your head. So it's not a huge deal breaker for me. And besides, they're kind of more meant to be like notification streaming, as well as like phone calls, quick recordings, things like that, and less like heavy intensive use like I actually use them. And that's kind of why I do wish RayNeo would kind of have one of these types of glasses, but I do think like the Inmo Airs kind of fill that void. And so if you're looking for some like crazy powerhouse content consumption type glasses, these are not those. These are more on the wearable tech, give me my information at a glance, have an awesome AI assistant type of glasses. But if you want to go down the route of getting more use out of them, there's always my TapLink browser that I'll have a link to in the description. That honestly opens up a ton of capabilities of the glasses, just being able to use them on different websites and things that are not natively supported, as well as I have a video on the channel for side loading. So definitely check those out. I think I am going to stop rambling at this point, but I definitely appreciate everybody sticking around as long as you have. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. If you want to see some more videos like this, hit the subscribe button, trying to hit that 1,000 subscriber mark by the end of the year. We probably have a giveaway coming up, so if you're interested in that, definitely stay tuned. Again, thank you so much for being here. Definitely appreciate everybody. We recently got into the YouTube partner program, so going to keep it rolling, keep it moving. More informal tech to come in 2026, and we look forward for you being there. So again, until next time, my name is Connor. This is where the Informal Tech Reviews live, and we'll see you next time. Peace.